Welcome back to Keys Prop Hunt. On today, we'll be looking for some props that we can hit on. Let's get into it. So starting out here, full slate today. Look at the left-hand side. So you got Bassett at St. Louis, Scherzer versus Kansas City there, Joe versus Tampa Bay, Liberatore versus Baltimore, Hauser versus Cincy, just to name a few there, and then Singer and Nola topping it out there. I'll start out with Bassett here. So 333 to lefties, 262 to righties, 7 home runs to lefties. Does limit the home runs a bit there. And then he got, I would say, shelled against the Yankees. About 9 base runners there, 5 2/3, 3 earned. Tampa Bay 5 1/3, not too bad there. Then he hadn't pitched since June, so not much here for Bassett. But any regards, pitches the sinker at 29%, curveball 24%, cutter 21% of the time, and then a four-seamer in there as well. He does miss bats with this curveball, so I'll look at that, in which Weatherholt and Burleson look pretty good here. And then I'll add the sinker, which Burleson looks pretty good, the cutter, and then the four-seamer. So on the year-wise, Burleson looks pretty good against the four-seamer, 326, 429 on that sinker. Not so much on the cutter, 167 there, only a 325 WOBA. And then the curveball, 345. So not too bad there at all for him. And then Weatherholt here, 269, really hits the four-seamer. Doesn't look good against the sinker and the cutter. And then 333 against that curveball. Go last 30, so 324 for Burleson. Still hitting everything except that curveball. Only 2 events there, 2 walks for him on 3 at-bats. The K rate for that four-seamer is a little bit high there, I will say that. Struck out against Burns. Wheeler got him. McFarland. And Painter. Most of these are pushing like 98. Bassett's fastball's at 91. Okay. And then Weatherholt here doesn't look the best. Still 263 against that four-seamer. Not so good on the sinker, but he's still not K'ing much of any. A lot of ground outs on the sinker, so not getting it in the sweet spot. I say I'd be comfortable with Burleson here for a hit. And then power-wise, as I mentioned, he does limit the home runs. But Burleson, 5 home runs, 10 extra base hits against this pitch mix in the last 30. 2 against the four-seamer, 1 against the changeup, 1 against the slider, 1 against the sinker. So Burleson's, he should be in play for a homer there against Bassett. On the right side, he's better, but I will take a look at it. 49% sinker, 21% curveball, 13% sweeper, and 11% cutter. Really ramps up this sinker. So I'll look at that first. In which Walker looks pretty good there, 444. I am looking last 30. Let me go full season. So 375 for Pages, and then 350 for Wynn, 269 for Walker, 261 for Herrera. So not bad here at all. 310 for Furman. They look pretty good there. Sweet spot wise, it's Wynn, Walker, and Furman. I do like the K's and the whiffs here. They're not really K and whiffing on it. A little bit for Walker there, though, but 17% is not bad, or 20% whiff on 78 at-bats. And then this underlying stuff he is missing bats with. So Herrera and Walker don't look too bad. The K and whiff is kind of worrisome there. and then this sweeper, adding that in. So 241 against the sweeper for Walker, 333 against that curveball, Win 235 against the sweeper, 267 against the curveball. And then Herrera, 229 against that sweeper, 308 against the curveball. So they should see both of those. And then you got this cutter. I'll look at that alone. And which Walker looks really good there. Herrera looks good too. Last 30, Herrera, Win, Walker all look good. I'd say I trust Herrera and Walker here for a hit. And then we can look at the other side at Liberatore, 296 to lefties, and then 276 to righties. I'll look at righties first. He hasn't pitched bad though. Cincy's offense is really not anything. So 6 innings there, 3 earned, 1 home run. Pitched well again at the Cubs, 5 1/3, 2 earned there. Colorado showed him in St. Louis. Pitched well against Toronto, and then 3 earned and 3 2/3 against the Cubs at home. So for the most part, he's going 4-seamer, slider, curveball, and changeup. Does get some whiffs with this slider. So look there. Mayo outside that K and whiffed up. Don't look too good there, but I'm assuming he has some home runs here. Mayo. So yeah, 3 home runs there for Mayo. 2 for Alonso. 188 there for Alonso. And then the curveball, 375 for Mayo, still had to do with the K and whiff, and then also with Alonso there, K and whiff. And then let's grab all 4. So Mayo looks pretty good. He's a platoon guy that comes in there against lefties. Alonso doesn't look bad either, 278 for him. Sweet spot looks good for the both of them. I'll go last 30. So 368 on 19 at-bats for Mayo, 286 for O'Neill. He's also platoon bat, and then 304 there for Alonso. Batting 400 against that 4-seamer, 286 against the changeup, 176 against the slider. So you got to deal with Ks with them, but they can hit it for power here for sure. May lean away from here. I want to say that Liberatore can give up a home run here. It is St. Louis. He has given up one in his last 2 at home. I feel like if Baltimore's going to get to him, it's going to be for power. They do have a couple capable righties in this lineup. Mayo, Alonso, O'Neill each have multiple homers against this pitch mix. It's more so that curveball he's struggling with, in which O'Neill has 1 home run there. Nothing for Alonso. That slider and changeup for him. The 4-seamer also is getting hit. And then Mayo has 1 against all the curveball, 4-seamer, and slider. 11 on the year for Mayo. I say you can go here. You just got the risk of them Kang against Liberatore. Not sure what his K is, man. 40%, 31%, 12, 35. So yeah, you got the K risk there, but you know, high risk, high reward. I'd say Mayo's in play for a homer, Alonso as well. Any of those top 3 being Mayo, Alonso, and O'Neill. And you can take them for a hit, but as I mentioned, you have to deal. And then Strand's good against left-handed pitching too. So they definitely have a couple lefties couple righties in here that can do some damage against Liberatore. It's just you gotta, fight the risk of an underlying K there. And then Scherzer versus Kansas City. Kansas City hasn't been bad as of late. He got shelled against Tampa Bay, pitched well against Boston, pitched well against Philly too, St. Louis, and then only went 2 2/3 against Washington. So lefties wise, four seamer 47% of the time, and then a changeup, curveball, and slider. Not really missing bats at all, so he's pitching to contact quite a bit. Vinny doesn't look bad here at all. Tagalong, you have to deal with the Ks, but as I mentioned, Scherzer's not really getting Ks. Neither of them look bad here at all. I know it's a smaller sample size for Vinny since he just got back. 125 on that slider, though. Outside of that, he looks pretty good. Cagalone looks good too. I'd say you can go Cagalone or Pascantino for a hit here. Possible home run. Scherzer could give it up. Only on one ground ball, fly ball. It doesn't look there for Pascantino, but he has been swinging a hot bat, so I'd lean Pascantino for a homer here if I was going to go. But Cagalone does look like he can hit this pitch mix, has one on the slider and curveball, in which he's given up 3 on that slider, 3 on the four-seamer, which we know that Cagalone can hit. Hasn't hit one in the last 30, but he hits the four-seamer normally. So I'd say Cagalone's in play for a homer there. Then we can look at the other side. Lugo struggles with both sides. Does limit hard contact, though, I will say. Throws a bunch of pitches here. I really don't trust this Toronto lineup, honestly. I know they've been better as of late, but I more so like them against left-handed pitching than anything. Who's lead? I didn't even see. Hold on. Who's leading off for them? Brent Bateman. I may be cool here. Honestly, don't trust this lineup. Jackson Jobe really struggles with the left-hand side. Pitched good against Pitt, 5 1/3 there, 1 earned. Some walks there though, and then got shelled against the White Sox, and then pitched well against San Fran. So lefties wise, 43% four-seamer, 25% slider, 15% changeup. So I'll grab all 3 of those. He does miss some bats with that changeup. So Hicks doesn't look bad here at all. It looks good across all of them. The K and whiff is good there too. Simpson doesn't look good against that changeup. Isn't necessarily Kane or whiffing, but he's not hitting it for average, but does look good against the four-seamer and the slider. Last 30, Hicks still looks good. Simpson looks good. Only really seen that four-seamer, but he's batting 400 off of it. He's going to see a bunch of them today, too. I say I like Hicks and Simpson here for a hit. And then Lugumia is an opener for their lefty. I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head, but Lugumia will not be in there long, so I'm not going to preview that. He might be in there for an inning or 2, if that. Then you got Hauser versus Cincy, not really trying to get to their left-handed bats. Singer, so gave up 4 earned against St. Louis, 6 innings there. He's been going 6 innings though. I give him that, but he has been giving up runs and hits here. A home run in his last 3. The K rate is not there at all. 11%, 14%, 11%. Really struggles with lefties. He got a sinker and slider here, and then throws the sweeper and cutter at a 9% rate there. I think Eldridge is out right now. He's a good lefty in that lineup that I normally look at. Devers has been swinging a hot bat. You see the slug there, 509. Lee 298 there. I'll grab that sweeper since he is getting whiffs on it. So Lee looks pretty good against the slider. The sweeper, 273 against the sinker isn't bad either. Contact guy, I'm not sure if they moved him back up to lead off in the lineup. Devers looks really good against that sinker. Not so much the slider. The K and whiff is not bad there. And then the sweeper he doesn't look too good on. So nothing really there in the small sample sizes. Devers is more so hitting for power. Lee actually has 2 home runs in the last 30. I was going to say I like Lee for a hit here. I'm more so if I'm going to go power from the left-hand side for Sanfran, I'm more than likely going Devers there. So I'd say Devers is in play for a homer against Singer. He's giving up 3 on that cutter too. See if that... Yeah, it's one. Yeah, I like Devers there for a homer. Nola going into Seattle. Seattle did shell Wheeler yesterday. I ended up thinking I wanted to say Canzone was going to homer. He didn't. Young and Raleigh ended up doing. Raleigh ended up going for 3 home runs on yesterday. So right pitcher, wrong guy yesterday. So you got a knuckle curve here, 4-seamer, changeup as well. And then a sinker a little bit there. He is missing bats with that knuckle curve, though. Full season-wise, Canzone looks good against the 4-seamer, not so much the changeup. And then 278 against the sinker. And then 200 against that knuckle curve on a small sample size there. Then you got Josh Naylor. Looks really good against the 4-seamer. Not so much the changeup. And then 255 against the sinker, 250 against the knuckle curve. Naylor is a contact guy, though. So I don't expect him to be swinging and missing much of any. Yeah, as I thought. Yeah, I'll go Naylor here for a hit, Canzone for a hit. And I honestly want to double back on Canzone for a homer. 6 extra base hits, 4 on that changeup, 1 home run, 1 against the 4-seamer, and then 1 on that sinker in the last 30. I feel like he's about the only lefty outside of Naylor that didn't homer on yesterday. So I don't mind Canzone for a homer here. Rally's fly ball is there again, so you can go him. He's more than likely chalk price on today. And then Warren here. 2 earned against Baltimore, 5 earned against Seattle, 3 against St. Louis. Good game against the Cubs, and then shelled against Philly. Struggles with both as far as like power, but I will look at the left side first. 4-seamer changeup sinker, sweeper usage in there too, about 15%, so I'll include that. You got Alvarez here, 278 in the last 30, 222 against that 4-seamer, 400 against the changeup, so I do like that. That is his whiff pitch. And then 333 against that sinker on a small sample size, and then nothing on that sweeper there. And then on the year, 324, 328, 381, 231. So I'd say Alvarez is in play for a hit here. And then just because of that short porch in right field at Yankee Stadium, I'd say Alvarez is in play for a homer here. 3 home runs against Seattle. He saw a bunch of lefties in that game. 1 against Philly. You see a bunch of lefties there. Baltimore, you're going to see a bunch of lefties. St. Louis doesn't have that many lefties, nor do the Cubs, honestly. So you should see. But the Houston doesn't have a bunch of lefties now. Like now I'm thinking about that. They don't either. He got about 4. But he should see all 4 of them in the lineup on tomorrow. And then I know Kirby's better at home. Um, However, he could give it up here. 292 batting average to righties. I'll take the top 3. Go hits. So 266 for Turner, 229 for Hill, 232 for Ramuto. Yeah, I was more so looking bomb here, but on the year it doesn't look too good for him. But he has turned it on as of late. Doesn't look too bad there, but on the year doesn't look good at all. May stay away here and just go their lefties for power. It's 4 to that 4-seamer. Yeah, I'd say I'm not going to go too deep into this one. I'd say Schwarber more than likely for a homer there against Kirby. And then I'll look at Phillips from Miami facing this Boston team who's been hitting well. 4 earned against Pitt, 1 earned against the Angels, 2 earned against the Mets, 2 against Philly, and then 2 against Houston as well. Is not going deep into games. A home run given up in his last 5 out of 5 starts. It's going to see a decent amount of lefties today. They got 5 in the lineup. So let's look at the splitter, curveball, sinker, sweeper, all thrown over 20% of the time. You got Gasper at 294, Siegler 276, Abreu 240, and then Duran at 234. So Gasper's really only seen the sinker, hasn't really seen the curveball, splitter, or sweeper much. And then Siegler's really good against that sinker. 167 against the curveball, 250 against the splitter and sweeper. And then you got Abreu here really hitting that sinker 325, curveball not so much at all. 231 against the splitter and 500 against the sweeper on a small sample size. And then the last 30, Abreu still hitting the sinker, sweeper a little bit there too. May look power here, but I feel like Boston can get to Phillips here. This is home run on the curveball, which he's giving up to sinker, but he's giving up 3 home runs to that sinker, which it looked like Abreu was hitting on the year. Doesn't really, he only has 1 home run against it though. Got 2 for Duran there. I may stick to power here and just say Abreu, possibly for a homer there. And then sinker, splitter, curveball. So 3 out of the 4 he's homered against. And then Duran looks pretty good against his sinker. 21% barrel, 65% hard hit rate. The fly ball is 26%, but 2 home runs, 3 extra base hits, 591 estimated WOBA. I say Duran's in play for a homer there too. Miami is a big ballpark though. Then that may be it from the left-hand side. I honestly want to double back with Murakami for a home run here. I know it's a long shot with DeGrom, but that hard hit rate does not match what he's doing at all. A 50% hard hit rate there to lefties. So I'll look at 11 homers on the year to lefties. And before this Washington start, in which he pitched really well, he definitely looked questionable. I know he left this Angels game early, but went only five against Baltimore, 3 1/3 against Houston, and then 5 against Seattle. So this is more so a long shot with Murakami, but he's going to see a four-seamer 43% of the time. And as I mentioned yesterday, Murakami can hit the four-seamer fairly well. And so 16 homers across this on the year, 11 to the four-seamer, 1 to the slider, 4 to the changeup. And then, yeah, 5 in the last 30. I don't mind Murakami here for a home run. Peters did it yesterday. I mentioned that he had been hitting fairly well. He's home run in the last 3 games now. Outside of that, I'm not sure with this Petco guy. He's only made 1 start, I believe, but he is in Yankee Stadium, so he could get in trouble there. And then outside of that, I say Bradley's hard hit rate doesn't match what he's doing either. He can give up home runs. He's been limiting them in the last 5 though. And more so be looking Butler here to get him. Got that four-seamer, which is estimated what was not that well. 517 to that cutter though. They really aren't hitting that four-seamer. Long shot Butler for a home run there. He gives up more power to righties though, and I think I said G-Loft yesterday, so I'd double back with G-Loft here as well. 528 on that four-seamer, so yeah, I'd double back on G-Loft for a homer there against Bradley. And then we can look from the right-hand side, just looking to see if I missed anyone. You got K against Texas, in which their offense did show up yesterday. I just don't believe in them. 2 earned against Atlanta, 3 earned against Detroit, 2 earned against Cleveland. Good game there against at Tampa Bay, like really good game, because they can hit lefties, pretty sure. And then 3 earned against the Yankees. But yeah, I'm cool in Texas. I'm not even going to remotely look at that. Jump here. So Minnesota gets another lefty. 5 earned against Kansas City, who's been hot. 3 earned against the Rangers. 2 earned against Boston. 6 earned against Detroit. So there is a pathway for Minnesota to get the jump. He's a little bit better than Springs, I would say. However, you have some righties in this lineup that can do damage as they did yesterday. Jeffers, Bell, Buxton, Cashal. Lewis didn't do anything though. But off the top, Jeffers looks pretty good there. 273 against the four-seamer, 357 against that changeup, 400 against the curveball. Small sample sizes here because he's been injured, but 250 against the slider as well. Bell doesn't look bad there. 296 against the four-seamer, 290 against the changeup, 250 against the curveball, and then 200 against the slider. Then Buxton 233, 241, 200, and 333 against that slider. I will check last 30. So Jeffers, I double back on Jeffers for a hit here. I like him the most for a hit. I say Buxton's in play for a hit here as well. And then that's where I'd go with this. Then if you want to go power here, jump. How many home runs? 7 home runs. So he limits home runs, 264 batters faced. It is a small park in Sacramento. So I'd probably lean Buxton here If I like I feel like he's due at some point. They're gonna continue to have him at chalk price. So if you're willing to pay that, Buxton looks good for 52% hard hit rate. Outside of him, it looks pretty bleak. I mean, Jeffers hasn't been homering on this pitch mix. He's someone that can do it though. Bell had a hard hit ball yesterday too. Lewis, yeah, Royce Lewis, could be in play there for a homer as well. Maybe. I mean, he only has one home run too. 371 on that changeup. It's more so that four seamer he's getting in trouble with. Cradler homered yesterday. Bell could be in play. I'm not going to speak over Bell. Bell could be in play. I don't like the barrel and the pool air though. Again, Pecco, I don't know, and I don't really like the righties in that Yankees lineup at all. Elder could get into some trouble with the Dodgers. I don't really like their right-handed bats either, by any means. So I'm cool on that one. Williams is a great pitcher. However, he does struggle with the long ball. Um, oh, look here. From the right-hand side is Neto and Trout, really, for the most part there. Grab those three. Go last 30. So Neto has 2. Trout has 1. I'd probably lean Neto there for a homer against Williams. He can give it up for sure. He'll strike out 100 batters, but will give up some home runs for sure. And then from this side, Josh Lowe should be in the lineup, but if I'm gonna go, I'd probably go Baliastros here for a homer, 455 estimated WOBA on that four-seamer. They both have one against this curveball. Barrels there for Baliastros. Yeah, you can go either or there, but I lean him. I think for the most part. And then one Glasnow is returning today, and they have Dodgers as like a decently favorite there. Um, this is more so a home run shot here, in which he is giving up some power to righties, not much at all, but it is about 100 points, basis points difference than lefties. Uh, Sinker, four-seamer, slider, curveball. Rarely throws that curveball, but we'll keep it in there. Riley, 7 home runs. Acuna, 7 home runs. Top of mind, I was thinking Acuna here for a home run. I feel like he's due to turn it around. Been quiet as of late. This is a very big series at home for Atlanta. And so at the top of the line, oh, well, he's batting number 2, sorry, but he's still top of the lineup. I feel like Acuna's in play for a homer here against Glasnow. I want to say that may be it. I've covered for the most part all of these. Oh, Thornton. I feel like Milwaukee can get to him. 256 to righties. Shelled against San Diego. I went 6 against Atlanta. Gave up 3 earned there. Good game against Pitt, who doesn't hit lefties at all. 3 earned against Miami. 3 earned against Atlanta again. So you got cutter, four-seamer, sweeper, sinker, in which we'll grab these top 4. Which Vaughn looks good, Sanchez looks good, Troyo looks good, Contreras looks good. Look at Vaughn, 533 on that four-seamer. Doesn't look too good against the sinker. That is thrown at 10% there. 333 against the cutter, and then 333 against the sweeper. Small sample sizes there though. Same thing with Sanchez here. Really good against the four-seamer. 182 against that cutter though, to note. And then Choriel 438 against the four-seamer, 250 against the sinker, 250 against the cutter. And then Contreras is about the only one that's hitting that cutter. But 533 there, four-seamer, 258. Off the top of my head, I like Contreras for a hit here. I want to say Choriel for a hit here, and I like Vaughn for a hit there. Sanchez doesn't look bad either. He should be in the lineup there. He's more so a power play when I look at them, in which I would say Sanchez is in play for a homer here. Yeah, I'll ride with that there. Okay. I think that's it. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. As always, if you have any questions with the platform, please drop it in the comments below. If you can, please like and subscribe. Hope you guys have a great day. See you guys.